Welcome back to Explaining Everything, the channel where we uncover the weird, wonderful, and often hilarious stories behind everyday things. Today's topic comes straight from one of our awesome viewers, Trackmaster17. Thanks for the question. You asked, what happens to trains when they're retired? It's a great question, and no, they don't just disappear into a puff of steam and dramatic music. From scrapyards to museums, from tourist rides to tree-infested train zombies, these metal giants actually have a lot of surprising afterlives. So, if you've ever sat on a train and thought, where do you go when your choo-choo days are over? Stick around, because we're digging into the rusty truth behind retirement for trains right here on Explaining Everything. Before we talk about the afterlife, let's appreciate the life. Trains live the dream. They travel the world, carry people and cargo, and occasionally make dramatic entrances in action movies. But like all hard workers, trains eventually get tired. They creak more, they wheeze. Some can't even hit their top speeds without sounding like a metal dinosaur with asthma. And when maintenance becomes too expensive, or they're replaced by faster, sleeker models, it's time for retirement. But unlike people, trains don't get pensions. They get one of a few very different fates. Let's start with the harshest reality, the scrapyard. When trains get too old, too rusty, or too unfixable, they're dismantled piece by piece and sold for scrap metal. Years of loyal service, and suddenly they're being turned into soda cans or office chairs. It's brutal, but there's a silver lining. Many retired trains are recycled into other useful things, parts for new trains, building materials, or industrial tools. So in a weird way, they live on, possibly as the bolt in your office chair that's squeaking every time you shift. It's not glamorous, but hey, reincarnation is reincarnation. Now here's where the lucky ones go. Museums. These are the elite trains. The MVP. The locomotives that made history or were just too cool to melt down. They get cleaned up, restored, and put on display for train lovers, school kids, and people who didn't get into the aviation museum across the street. Museums give these old engines a second life as celebrities. People take selfies with them. Tour guides talk about them like they were once on Top Gear. It's the locomotive version of getting inducted into the Hall of Fame. Honestly, not a bad way to go out. Some trains don't fully retire. Instead, they get demoted, but in a cozy, scenic kind of way. They become tourist trains. These are the charming old locomotives that chug slowly through mountain ranges, forests, or wine country, usually while people in straw hats take too many photos. They're like train grandparents, slower, more relaxed, and always ready with a fun story if you're willing to listen. Sure, they're not breaking speed records anymore, but they're adored, maintained, and still out there, seeing the world. It's like retirement with benefits. Here's where things get weird in the best way. Some retired trains don't go to museums or tourist lines. They become buildings, and not just any buildings. We're talking train-themed hotels, cafes, diners, even private homes. Someone somewhere is literally living inside a repurposed train car, and probably loving it. In South Africa, there's a luxury hotel made entirely from a decommissioned train. In the UK, there are restaurants where you dine inside a refurbished dining car. It's the ultimate blend of nostalgia and novelty. If you've ever wanted to sleep in a bed that used to be a passenger bench, this is your moment. Not all trains get glamorous endings. Some are simply left behind. Maybe they were too remote to move, or maybe someone just forgot. Either way, they sit out in the wild, slowly becoming part of the landscape. Trees grow through their windows. Vines wrap around their frames. Birds treat the conductor's cabin like a luxury condo. And while it sounds tragic, there's something hauntingly beautiful about it. These abandoned trains are often discovered by urban explorers, photographers, or very confused hikers. It's like stumbling onto a forgotten era, preserved by nature and rust. Sometimes trains retire, but not entirely. Instead of being used whole, they're picked apart for functioning components. Engines, brakes, lights, and even seats can be transplanted into other trains. One train's retirement becomes another train's second chance at glory. So that commuter train you rode this morning? It might have a brake pad from 1972 and a seat from a train that used to carry mail. It's basically a Frankenstein train, stitched together from the ghosts of old locomotives. Creepy. Maybe? Efficient? Definitely. So, where do trains go when they've retired? Some are scrapped and melted into shopping carts. Some are preserved and worshipped like mechanical royalty. Some become hotels, restaurants, or houses. Others are abandoned, slowly returning to the earth like steely tree spirits. And some? Well, they just donate a few parts and quietly disappear. In the end, there's no single path. Much like humans, each train's retirement journey is unique. Whether it ends in a museum, a brunch spot, or your neighbor's oddly shaped backyard Airbnb. So next time you ride a train, give it a little nod of respect. Because one day, it too will leave the station for the last time. And if it's lucky, maybe it'll become a fancy coffee shop in Berlin. If you enjoy this video, or just have a weird soft spot for abandoned trains, rust, or oddly specific hotel concepts, please like and subscribe. Also, if you have suggestions for our next video, feel free to share them in the comments below. We'll be sure to give you an acknowledgement for your contribution. Thank you for tuning in, and join us next time here in the channel that answers all the why, what, who, where, and how questions you've always wondered about, here on Explaining Everything.